All right, this is the second video of the elimination method. We're still on page 5. So let's look on page 5. Page 5, we're still on the elimination method where you have to make opposites. Remember, when you elimination method, think opposites. All right, think opposites. That's what the elimination method is about. All right, make opposites because that causes something to cancel. All right, let's look at number 1 on page 5. All right, that is awfully small. So let's see, I'm gonna write that a little bit larger here. X plus 3y equals 6. 2x minus 7y equals -1. Now, you can make opposites on the x's or make opposites on the y's. You get to choose. There's no wrong answer. You can pick the x's or the y's. I'm going to make opposites on the y's on this one because I just want to show you how to do it. But you can pick either one. Now, remember, the first step is line them up. These are lined up. And I'm going to get opposites. I'm going to make opposites on the y's. Now, if you count by 3s and you count by 7s, what's the first number that you're going to see in common? So if I go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. If I count by 7s, 7, 14, 21, 28. What's the first number they have in common? They have 21 in common. So I can turn both of these into 21s. How do you do that? All right. You have to use multiplication to do it. I'm going to turn this into a 21y, and I'm going to turn that into a -21y. All right, so I'm going to multiply both equations on this one. How do you turn 3 into a 21? What do you multiply by? You have to multiply by 7. Make sure you put the whole equation in parentheses because you're going to multiply everything in that equation by 7. Whatever you multiply one side by, you have to multiply the other side by the same thing. Now, I want this to be a -21. You do not have to multiply the second equation by the same thing you multiplied the first equation. In fact, it's almost always going to be a different number. How do you turn a 7 into 21? Remember, you're only allowed to use multiplication. All right? You guessed it. You have to multiply by 3. So let's do that. Let's multiply both of these equations by the number that's outside the parentheses. And you have to multiply the whole equation. So 7x plus 21y, I'm distributing the 7 through the whole equation, and 6 times 7 is 42. Now this equation, I'm going to multiply by 3. That's going to give me 6x minus 21y equals -3. And there are my opposites. 21 and -21 are opposites. And that's what we want. We want opposites. What do you do once you have opposites? If you go back and look, you add straight down. What happens when you add straight down, and this is why it's called the elimination method, is the y's are eliminated. You cross them out because they're opposites. Now, 7x and 6x, that's 13x. The y's cancel, bring down your equal sign. 42 minus 3 is 39. Very easy to solve. Divide both sides by 13, and you're going to get x equals 3. Now, if you remember in the last video, you're not done yet. You have to solve for y. Pick either one of the 2 original equations, whichever one you think looks easier, and you're going to plug in 3 for the x. Make sure you don't plug in 3 for y. Make sure you plug it in for x. All right, so I'm going to pick the first equation, x plus 3y equals 6. You're going to put 3 right there because 3 is x. So 3 plus 3y equals 6. Subtract 3. I get 3y equals 3. Divide by 3. Y equals 1. Now, what's a good way to write the answer? A good way to write the answer, I've run out of room. I'll write it right here. Write it as an ordered pair, 3, 1. All right. I'm going to work 2 examples in this video, and then we'll be done. Let's see. 9x plus 3y equals 12. 2x plus y equals 5. All right. I'm going to get opposites on either the x's or the y's. If you get opposites on the x's, what's the first number that if you count by 9s and 2s they'll have in common? That would be 18. Would I rather make 18 on the x's? And this one's, there's a 1 in front if you don't remember. If you count by 3s and count by 1s, the first number you'll have in common is a 3. I think I'm going to do the y's because that's a smaller number. All right, so my goal is to turn this y into a negative 3y. If I can turn that into a negative 3y, that'll be opposites with this 3y. On the last equation, I had to multiply both, but on this one, I only need to turn this into a negative 3y, so I can leave the top equation alone. All right, so how do you turn that into a negative 3y? Well, you're going to multiply this equation by, what would multiply by 1 to make negative 3? Well, you got it. You would multiply by negative 3. So I don't do anything to the top equation. I'm going to write that down exactly the way it was. But we're going to multiply the second equation by negative 3. You have to multiply the entire equation. Negative 6x minus 3y equals negative 15. Now, did we meet our goal? Did we make opposites? Yes, the y's are now opposites. What do you do once you make opposites? You add straight down, and this is why it's called elimination. The y's are eliminated. So add straight down, that's 3x. 9 minus 6 is 3. 12 minus 15 is negative 3. Solve that, very easy to solve, divide by 3. X equals negative 1. Now you remember, you're not done yet. You have to solve for the other variable. Go back and pick whichever equation looks easiest to you. I think the bottom equation looks easier, so I'm going to use that. The bottom equation is 2x. I'm going to plug in for the x plus y equals 5. See, that's the second equation. That's where the x is. Where we're going to plug in for x. We're going to plug in negative 1. So negative 2 plus y equals 5. That's very easy to solve. Add 2 to both sides. Y equals 7. What's an easy way to write the answer? Negative 1, 7. You write it as an ordered pair. All right, that's how you do the elimination method.